Selling is often described as persuasion, convincing, influencing, closing. But the longer you stay in business, the more you realize something important. The most powerful moments in selling are not the moments when someone says yes. They are the moments when you are willing to say no. Pause for a moment and really think about that. Because in a world where everyone is trying to sell, push, pressure, and persuade, the ability to walk away is rare, and rarity creates trust. This is what we call ethical walkaway. Not avoidance, not fear, not hesitation, but intentional restraint. So, what does ethical walkaway really means? Ethical walkaway is the decision to not sell when selling would not serve the customer. It is the moment when a seller recognizes that the solution is not a good fit, the timing is wrong, the expectations are unrealistic, or the values are misaligned. And instead of forcing the deal, they choose honesty. They choose clarity. They choose long-term trust. Ethical walkaway is not weakness. It is strength under control. Why does this concept matters more than ever? Today's buyers are not ignorant. They are informed. They compare. They research. They talk to each other. And they can sense desperation instantly. They can hear it in your voice. They can feel it in your follow-ups. They can see it in your urgency. And once desperation is detected, trust drops. This is why ethical walkaway has become a competitive advantage. Not because it sounds noble, but because it works. Why does walking away feel so difficult? Let's be honest. Walking away from a sale is emotionally difficult, especially when you need the money, you're trying to hit a target, you're building a business, or you're afraid another opportunity won't come. There is a quiet voice in the background that says, what if this is the last lead? What if I don't get another chance? What if I regret this? And so people sell when they shouldn't. They convince themselves the fit is close enough. They promise results they can't control. They ignore early warning signs. And that decision always shows up later. Did you know that every bad sale has a cost? Here is something most sales training never tells you. Every bad sale has a hidden cost. Sometimes that cost is refunds, complaints, negative reviews, damaged reputation. Other times it's less visible. Stress, burnout, resentment, loss of confidence. And often, the biggest cost is this. You stop trusting your own judgment. Ethical walkaway protects you from that. A real-world example of a wrong client. Imagine a consultant being approached by a potential client. The client wants fast results. They want minimal effort. They want guarantees. During the conversation, the consultant realizes something important. This client does not want a solution. They want a miracle. They don't want guidance. They want rescue. Now, the consultant could take the money. They could say yes. They could hope it works out. But experience says otherwise. So, instead, the consultant says, I don't think I'm the right person for you right now. Based on what you're looking for, this process would require more commitment than you're ready to give. What happens next is surprising. The client relaxes. Because for the first time, someone is not trying to convince them. And even if the client doesn't buy, they walk away with respect. Sometimes they come back months later, ready. Sometimes they refer someone else. But trust has been built. Does trust increases when you walk away? Yes. There is a psychological reason ethical walkaway works. When someone expects you to sell to them, and you don't, their brain registers safety. They think, this person is not trying to manipulate me. This person is confident. This person cares about outcomes. And trust is born. Trust does not come from persuasion. Trust comes from perceived alignment. Is ethical walkaway a confidence signal? Yes. When you're willing to walk away, you signal confidence, not arrogance, not superiority, but quiet certainty. You are saying, I don't need this deal to survive. I believe in my value. I trust that the right clients will come. That energy changes everything. Your tone changes. Your posture changes. Your presence changes. And people respond to that. A sales example of the wrong product. Imagine a salesperson in a retail environment. A customer comes in asking for a high-end product, but after asking questions, the salesperson realizes the customer doesn't need that level. It would be expensive overkill. A simpler option would serve them better. Now the salesperson has a choice. Sell the expensive item and earn more commission, or recommend the cheaper, more suitable option. When the salesperson says, "Honestly, I don't think you need this one. This option will do exactly what you want," something powerful happens. The customer trusts them, and often that customer returns again and again. That is ethical walkaway in action. Short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. Short-term thinking says, "Close the deal now." Long-term thinking asks, what happens after the sale? Will the customer be satisfied? Will the relationship last? Will this reflect well on my brand? Ethical walkaway is a long-term strategy, and long-term strategies always outperform short-term tactics. Can ethical walkaway serve as a brand positioning tool? Yes. This concept goes beyond individual sales. It shapes your brand. Brands that are willing to say no, appear more premium, attract better customers, retain loyalty. Think about brands you trust. They don't chase you. They don't beg. They don't pressure. They qualify. They are selective. Selectivity builds credibility. The myth that a sale is a sale. One of the most dangerous beliefs in business is, a sale is a sale. It is not. Some sales create growth. Others create damage. Bad fit customers complain more. They demand more. They drain resources. They leave negative feedback. Ethical walkaway protects your ecosystem. Let's look at coaching and service-based examples. If you are a coach, consultant, or service provider, ethical walkaway is essential. Imagine working with a client who resists feedback, avoids responsibility, blames external factors. You already know how that story ends. Walking away early saves both of you. It protects your confidence. It protects their expectations. It protects the integrity of your work. Is walking away a rejection? No. Ethical walkaway is not rejection. It is redirection. You are not rejecting the person. You are rejecting the misalignment. How you communicate this matters deeply. The language should be calm, respectful, clear. For example, I want to be honest with you. I don't want to set you up for disappointment. I care about results, not just transactions. That tone preserves dignity. The paradox of selling. Here is the paradox every experienced seller eventually learns. The harder you try to sell, the less people buy. The more willing you are to walk away, the more people trust you. And trust is what drives decisions. When do you practice ethical walkaway? Ethical walkaway is appropriate when expectations are unrealistic, values are misaligned, readiness is lacking. The solution will not genuinely help. Walking away early prevents conflict later. Let's take a look at a business owner story. A business owner once said this: "The best thing I ever learned was when to say no to money." They explained how early in their career they accepted every client, every deal, every opportunity, and they burned out. Later, they became selective. Revenue became more stable. Stress decreased. Client satisfaction increased. That is the compound effect of ethical decisions, ethical walkaway, and self-respect. There is also a personal dimension to this. When you walk away ethically, you reinforce self-respect. You prove to yourself that you trust your judgment. You value your standards. You are not desperate. That confidence is felt in every conversation that follows. Why this matters for the future of selling. Selling is changing. People want transparency. They want honesty. They want alignment. Ethical walkaway is not optional in this environment. It is required because manipulation no longer scales. Pressure no longer works. Trust does. Final reflection. Selling is not about extraction. It is about exchange. And when value is not present, the most powerful move is to step back. Ethical walkaway protects the customer, the brand, the relationship, and the seller. In the long run, it protects your reputation. And reputation outlives revenue. The best sellers are not the ones who sell to everyone. They are the ones who know, with confidence and clarity, exactly when not to sell.
Pause.
And that is the role of ethical walkaway.